I'm back. Wendy is back for a new manga talk video. I actually had another one that I filmed, and I was gonna post it yesterday, but then I decided I was gonna just redo that one because some of the stuff I talked about in it, I wasn't too clear on what I was trying to say, and I had a few mistakes, so I'll get that fixed. As you can see, I did get my hair done. I have it darker under, and it's lighter on top. I was gonna do a more honey blonde like Peyton from One Tree Hill, but my hairstylist said that since my hair doesn't get dyed a lot, she was scared that the honey blonde was going to turn out looking more yellow and brassy in my hair, which is probably true because I've had honey blonde highlights and ombres before, and it always turns a little brassy, so that might be why. But anyway, so let's move on to what I wanted to talk about today. Just so you know, we have Bayside playing in background today. I'll make sure to put up a good disclaimer there. So first off, I did want to talk about real quick this Korean manga, Intense, by Kyunga Lee. Kyunga, I guess that's how you would say that. No, I don't know. I'm not going to go into a long in-depth talk about this like I did in the other video. I mostly just want to give a brief description to get people to read it, and if people seem to be reading it, I will then do a video later on where I'll kind of like talk about specific points in this, and I will talk about more spoiler stuff, more like themes that I liked in the manga. But first off, what you need to know is it does involve gangs, Korean gangs. There is sexual abuse in it. It's perceived a little different than normal, but it is in there, so just be warned. It's a dark series. It's not like a cute romance or anything like that. There are cute moments in it. There's some smutty moments in it, but you need to know that it is dark. There's more sad moments than there are happy moments in it, so that's something, you know, to be aware of. But just, if you want to read it, then just keep pulling through because it is very good. So first off, let's discuss the beautiful art. So this is cover 1, and here's the back of cover 1, and here's the artwork inside. That's another good one. And you can just see how thick and white this paper is. It's very rich. You can see how it just holds the ink in there, and it's kind of like has almost like a glossiness to it. I went hams for the quality of this. Whenever it came in, this is not what I was expecting. I was expecting something more like, you know, like this. But because my other net comics I have was that quality, and then I got this, and I was like, holy shit, this is awesome. And I've taken graphic design classes, and I think I've said in one of my videos before that we all kind of rave over paper, and when I got this in, I was like, oh, the paper's so smooth and it's so thick, and how it holds ink in here is wonderful. And, oh. And I really like it when people do cross shading of, like, lips. I really like how it's done like that. One of my favorite things about manga is just seeing how different people do lips, because it's really interesting how everyone kind of does it differently. A lot of times you don't get lips, period. It's just like a little line, like in a lot of, I guess, science, I don't know what you call it, but you know, more cutesy art. You know, a lot of times it's just a little line there. But so that's volume 1. That's volume 3. Volume 2. This is my favorite cover. I love the emotion and passion on this cover, going with the colors, and the backside, anything really too special, but it's still a pretty back. And I mean, wonderful, beautiful. So the basic premise is this guy kind of belongs to this mob boss from when his father died, and he's become like a ruthless assassin killer, basically. I don't know about assassin, but he's ruthless. And the mob boss goes to jail, and so he's in hiding. They've put him in hiding in this like rundown town. It's kind of like a center for like prostitution, basically. It's like where all the prostitutes live, and there's like little bars there and stuff. And he meets, so this is Jiwon, or Jiwoon, probably Jiwoon actually. And then he meets Suhan, this guy here, who is mute. And he communicates with people by writing on their hands. And it's not perceived in the way that I Hear the Sunspot is, which that's deaf, that's not mute. But that's an actual and I Hear the Sunspot, like that's an actual disability. Whereas in this, you kind of find out like what's actually going on there. And Jiwoon just doesn't talk a lot in general, so whenever he meets this guy, he's staying with him. And it's like a nice presence because they both just don't talk a lot, so it's like very, well, Suhan doesn't talk, but Jiwoon will talk, but he doesn't talk a lot. So it's just like it's nice interactions with them, and it doesn't have a lot of dialogue, which I could see some people having issues with. I personally, like whenever I read reviews for this after I read volume 1, I was really surprised by how many people were like, oh, it was too short, or it doesn't have a lot of dialogue. And I'm like, I don't know, something doesn't have to have a lot of dialogue for me to like it, because I'm an artist too, so I like it if the art is really good and you can keep the story going with the art. You are doing your job as an artist. Like, yes, the writing needs to be good too, but if you can still get the story conveyed through artwork, like you see comic strips that people make, like fan comics and stuff, and there won't be any dialogue, it's just pictures, and you know what the story is, like, and I feel like this has that going on for it, because there isn't a lot of dialogue, but I'm fine with that, because you still get the story. I won't give you too much of what it's about, because I kind of want y'all to read it and see for yourselves, but I didn't finish showing off all of the mangas. I got distracted there. Here's volume 3. And the back isn't really anything, it's just black. But volume 3 starts to go more into all the mob stuff that's going on. Gangs, I guess. And this one does get harder to read. It's when everything kind of starts to get more the plot starts driving more and it gets really dark and emotional. So just be warned that Volume 3, it kind of starts to take on that turn. And then, what I love about Volume 4's cover is that it's the complete opposite of all the other covers. It is serene, it's beautiful, it's gentle. And you can tell once you get the Volume 4, you know that you can smile and hold on, because it's just telling you, hey, hang on there. Don't get too upset. Like, just hang on in the ride. It's beautiful. And I love the coloring on the, like, I guess it's like a wall they're sitting on. And look how Ju-On's expression has changed from that to, you know, from here. Or even here, like, even thought it's kind of a romantic scene going on here. Well, melancholy. You can still tell by how his eyebrows are lifting up and how his eyes are half closed that it's still, he's not happy. And you can tell here too. And then here, oh, that's really interesting. They don't show Ju-Hoon's face on any. That's from behind. You kind of see his face here, but not really. And then once again, you don't see his face. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, that's really, really interesting. Okay, but just look how beautiful and serene that is. And then he's back. It's just really good. So I definitely recommend it. If you can't do dark stuff, period, you just want a light fluff story with, or if you want mostly just a smut story, I mean, and that's fine if that's what you like, you know, everyone has what they likes. This is not what you're gonna get. Like, you'll get some cute moments along with some smut moments, like they are in there. But it's more about this dark driving story between these characters, and mostly about Ji-Woon's freedom. So, artwork is beautiful. It's 4 volumes. It's Net Comics. Definitely check it out. It's one of my favorites. When I first read it, I was blown away by how powerful it was. And that's kind of what got me to read webcomics for a while. Because I was really into the Korean take on storytelling, because it always seemed more dark and gritty, which that's not always the case. But I had read Behind Story, and then I read this, and then I read Killing Stalking next, and that was like, and then I read something else that was more uplifting, and I was like, oh, okay. But once I kind of want to reread this again before I do an in-depth, like, analysis video of these volumes, so I will do that. Not right now, because I have a ton of other stuff that I'm reading. But, yeah, read Intense by Kyung-ga Yi. It's really, really, really good. They are a little bit more expensive, but you can buy them used. I don't really recommend buying used, but you gotta do what you gotta do if you can't pay full price. So as long as you can read the story and support the author in some sort of way, I'm sure you'll, you know, it was bought at one point, so you know, the money went to her, or them at one point. So, yeah. So, that's it for this video. I'm gonna do one more today. See you guys!